When my best friend told me she was getting married to a man, I begged her not to, but she didn't listen to me and went ahead and married him anyway. This man was bad news. He abused her physically and emotionally and cheated on her all the time. They dated for 3 years before they got married, and throughout their dating period, he never treated her right. She was always complaining about something that he has done to her. I begged and asked her to leave him several times, but she never listened. It got to a time when I told her to never tell me anything about their relationship, because if you are going to complain all the time about how bad this man is treating you and you cannot leave, then don't tell me anything about it. Just keep it to yourself. She was like a sister to me and I really cared about her. So watching and hearing everything she's going through whilst she still stays with the person inflicting the pain on her broke my heart over and over again. Whilst they were dating, she gathered the strength once to leave him. She left him for almost 2 months, and I don't know how he did it, but he was able to convince her to come back to him, and immediately she went back, he proposed marriage. She told me he has changed, and I told her people don't change that easily, but like the saying goes, you cannot advise someone who is in love. So she married him anyway, and for the first few months of their marriage, I could see she was happy, and I really prayed that things should continue that way for her. Unfortunately, her happiness was short-lived. She was pregnant with their first child when he started physically abusing her again. She almost had a miscarriage because of this. I begged her to leave once again for the sake of her child, but she stayed. At this point, I decided to just cut her off. She's a grown woman and she knows she's in a bad situation. The day she finally gets the strength to leave, I'll be there for her. But I was just tired of everything. I needed to separate myself from her for my peace of mind. And so I just cut her off and stopped talking to her altogether. And then about a year later, she contacted me crying. She told me this was it. She has had enough. She wanted to leave her husband and start afresh. She said she didn't want to go to her family because people will talk about her situation. And she asked me if she could move in with me. And I said yes immediately. I was so happy she was finally leaving that man. I really cared about her because she was a good person caught in a bad situation. That day, I went to park at the back of their house waiting for her husband to leave home. Immediately he left. I went inside the house and helped her pack her bags. One of her eyes was swollen from a beating from her husband. She was crying uncontrollably as we packed their things. She was insulting herself, calling herself stupid, asking herself why she was so weak. I told her the past didn't matter now. Like now, she has gotten the strength to move on. She was finally being strong for her and her child, and that was all that mattered. We packed all her clothes and we left for my house with her child. For the first few weeks, she couldn't do anything. She just cried and prayed, and I was there for her every step of the way. Her baby was almost 2 years at this point. She had her husband's number blocked, and she was not in touch with him at all. I could see she was finally trying to get her life back, and I was so happy and proud of her. After 1 month of living with me, she just came to me one day and told me her husband had contacted her. He has started attending church, and he has regretted all the bad things he did to her. She said she really believed he has really changed this time, and she wants to give him another chance. I told her no, this was a trap. She was doing so well for herself. That man would never change. If she goes back, he's still going to hurt her all over again. But did she listen to me? No. Like always, she ignored my advice and went back to him. Before she left, I told her if she goes back to him, I will block her number and block her on all my social media accounts. Like that was the end of our friendship. I don't want to have anything to do with her ever again, and she should never contact me when things go wrong again. And when she left, I did just that. I blocked her everywhere and moved on with my life. I received a call from an anonymous number last week. It was her. She wants to leave her husband again, and this time around, she says she's leaving him for real. She's asking me if she can move in with me again, and I was like, hell no. I told her I thank God she wants to leave him again, but she can't come to my place. She should go to her parents' house instead. I told her I was in a good place with my mental health and I didn't need a wahala. I told her I prayed this time around she really moves on, but I'm not going to involve myself. She cried, begged, and told me nobody understood her like the way I did, and that she was in bad shape because her husband had beaten her up and messed their face up. She said people will gossip about her if she goes back to her family house. I told her the best I can do for her is to get her some money to go to the hospital to get her bruises checked. Apart from that, I don't want to have anything to do with her. She cried and begged, but I still said no. I cut the call, sent her the money, and blocked that number too. I've been feeling so bad, like I failed her or something. Am I the asshole? This follower needs your opinions, babes. Please drop some below. New stories are up on my YouTube channel. Click the link in my bio to watch the full video, and don't forget to follow me for more story times.